Congratulations to Carl Edwards on getting into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Edwards said he never expected to be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. It wasn't able to be reached for hours until his wife encouraged him to check his phone. He was shocked to know that he was joining Ricky Rudd as part of the 2025 class. In the days after that announcement, he said he was overwhelmed by recognition. He even left a Bass Pro Shops in Missouri with a fan also congratulating him. Edwards and Rudd are joined by Ralph Moody as part of that 2025 class. Edwards got 52% of the modern era ballot votes. Here's Edwards giving his thoughts on getting into the Hall of Fame and more in his Zoom media availability. I thought about it. I thought, man, I can't build my day around that because it's not going to happen, Edwards said. I called Randy Poehler, former Roush Racing and Joe Gibbs Racing senior media relations manager, and I was just blown away. I knew Randy wouldn't mess with me like that. I was shocked, and I still am at how much it means to me. I wasn't expecting to feel this way. It's very humbling. Here's more from Edwards on getting into the Hall of Fame and more. The paradigms we live in. I mean, we all have our what we think of ourselves, how we see ourselves, and I can't help but to I see myself as someone who, I won the lottery in racing, Edwards said. I mean, I wanted to drive these race cars more than anything in the world, and I got to do it. I felt like these things happened. Then when I stepped away, I guess looking back on it, I feel like, man, I hope that people in the sport don't think I'm being disrespectful. I hope they know how much I appreciate it. But I guess my point is that I always felt like a guy who just got to come be a part of it. The sport gave me so much. The people in the sport gave me so much that I don't know. I think I'm a Hall of Fame person as someone who gave more, so I guess that's why it shocks me. It's hard to explain. Edwards won 28 races and 13 Cup seasons from 2004 through 2016. During that stretch, he also got 124 top 5s, 220 top 10s, 22 poles, led 6,136 laps, and had an average finish of 13.6 and 445 starts. He got his first Crown Jewel win in 2015 when he won the Coca-Cola 600 that year while driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. His next win was his second and final Crown Jewel win in the Southern 500 later that year on Labor Day weekend. He drove for Gibbs in his final 2 years in 2015 and 2016 in a 19 car. Edwards got his start driving for Jack Roush in the 99 car with Roush Racing, which later became Roush Family Racing from 2004 till 2014. The most success he had at a Cup track was at Bristol and Texas Motor Speedway, which he won 4 times at each track. Edwards also won 38 races in the Xfinity Series and also won a championship in 2007 when it was known as the Busch Series. He also finished second in the points in that series 4 times. Edwards won 6 races in the Chrysler Truck Series also. With his wins, Edwards was also known for doing a signature backflip after those wins. Edwards also got his final career win with Gibbs in 2016 at the AAA Texas 500 at Texas Motor Speedway late in the year in a rain-short race. Edwards came close to winning a Cup Series championship a couple of times. He finished second to Jimmy Johnson in 2008 and second again in 2011 to Tony Stewart. Stewart won that championship on a tiebreaker. Edwards also had the chance to win a championship in 2016 at Homestead Miami Speedway, as he was on the front row of a restart until he crashed with 10 laps to go in the race, which took him out of a chance to win when he tried to block Joey Logano. Edwards later memorably stopped by Logano's pit box on the way to the Imperial Care Center and shook hands with several of Logano's crew members. Little did anybody know at that time that the classy gesture Edwards showed in Miami would be the final time that he would race in NASCAR, as he retired at just age 37. He disappeared for a long time after that, but was named one of the 75 greatest NASCAR drivers in 2023 and showed up at Darlington Raceway that year for that honor as well. When he first commented since being elected into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, Edwards said at the time of the 2016 championship race that he had been struggling trying to balance his job with his life as a married man of 2 children. Those who know him well said he felt bitter by a caution that cost him a chance at a championship, and it was the reason he walked away. Definitely. I would have rather not have had a caution come out, Edwards said. But you never know the outcome of that, and like I said, I wouldn't change a thing. Here's more from Edwards. I think things would have been a lot different if we won that championship, he said. With a number of years having passed since that race, Edwards has accepted the result and how NASCAR officiated that race. NASCAR is in the business of creating a sport for the fans, Edwards said. And I know from private conversations I have had that NASCAR is trying their best, and I respect that. The outcome at various points in my career, and that race specifically, I did not like it. But I 100% respect the sport and the people that run it. It gave me a life and opportunities that I never could have imagined. Edwards insisted that how the race ended didn't factor into his retirement. As far as being an impetus for my stepping away, I'll go right back to what I said when I did, and I said it clearly, but maybe not clearly enough. I just needed time, Edwards said. I woke up and I realized at the end of my career, I'm not spending time doing anything other than racing. Here's what Edwards had to say when asked by the Associated Press if he felt cheated or wronged in 2016. I would just like to say that I officially respect the way NASCAR runs the sport and the way they need to run it. I don't want to say anything negative, he said. But then he added, I may have been unclear, and I want to be explicit that I did not leave the sport because of the way 2016 ended, period. Since Edwards left NASCAR, he lives in his home state of Missouri. He also focuses on being a father and a husband to his position wife, Kate. He also has no plans to ever race a cup car again. Here's more from Edwards on that and more. I respect too much what it takes to be great, Edwards said. I lived that life every day for 20 years, and my idea of fun isn't doing something just to do it. I want to be great at something, and it would be disrespectful to everyone that is striving to be great to go do it just for fun. Edwards said he feels his competitive nature with adventure. He sailed from Florida to Italy as the boat's captain and has also taken up jiu-jitsu. He is also a pilot. Edwards has also been involved in community work and has shown up in Missouri news segments, helping out after the tornado strikes. Congratulations to Carl Edwards on getting into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Pretty incredible honor for the driver, also known as Cousin Carl and Concrete Carl, because of all the success he had on the concrete track. So that would be a pretty cool honor for Edwards, especially. He had been waiting a couple of years to get on, so for him to be able to get into the Hall of Fame. So that's pretty cool that it happened like that, especially for him and all that. He had an incredible career. It's bittersweet at the same time as well because of the fact he should have still been driving. And the fact is he left the way he did in 2016 when he retired in January 2017, when 2016 was his final race. Definitely left a bitter taste in my mouth and a lot of fans' mouths as well because of the fact that he was still in his prime and he was still very competitive. And I think if he would have stuck around, he might have won a championship. Rusty Wallace said when Edwards retired that he never would have considered retiring at that age, especially because of the fact that he was still competitive. And it's probably, paraphrasing, of course, there. But definitely, Edwards should not have done that. But I understood why he did it, though. He probably thought like he gave it all he had, and he probably wanted to spend more time with his family and all that. But definitely for him to retire at such short notice there in January 2017, just before the Daytona 500, and then Daniel Suarez was thrown into the car so quickly there with Joe Gibbs Racing because of the fact Edwards retired like so quick. And he disappeared from the sport for such a long time as well, not even being at the track that much or even being in the booth as well. I would have thought he would have been in broadcasting and all that because of the fact that he did a good job with that when he was doing it with ESPN. And sometimes he appeared in the Fox Studios as well, the Hollywood Hotel, whenever he went out of a race or whatever there. Sometimes with ESPN as well. But definitely it was tough like that he never got to do any of that stuff. But at least he got it back in the booth in 2023 at Darlington there with Clint Boyer and Mike Joy during the throwback weekend, when it was also the 75th anniversary weekend. When Edwards was at the track being honored as one of the 75 greatest NASCAR drivers. So definitely that was pretty cool to see Edwards back at the track there as well. And I'm sure that probably put him in good graces with NASCAR as well as the Hall of Fame voters, seeing that he was more around and being around for the celebration. So that might have helped as well for him getting into the Hall of Fame this time as well. Plus, it most likely was a weaker class as well. But definitely pretty cool for Edwards to finally be in the Hall of Fame and all that. Definitely his stats would say Hall of Fame worthy, especially. So he's had an incredible career. Plus, he had a memorable first career win in 2005 as well there at Atlanta Motor Speedway, and an incredible photo finish with Jimmy Johnson, as that was a pretty incredible win for Edwards there, especially being part of a great finish and all that, especially being one of the more iconic finishes in NASCAR history, as well as Atlanta having provided a lot of great finishes over the years as well, with that being one of them. And it was an incredible year for 2005 as well for Edwards especially, and the entire organization at Rouse Racing. All five of them made the chase for the NXL Cup, as it was known back then, with him and Mark Martin and Greg Biffle and Matt Kenseth and Kurt Busch being 5 out of the 10 drivers in the chase for the NXL Cup. Pretty incredible there. None of them won the championship, but still pretty incredible to be able to see an entire organization make the chase and all that. So that was a pretty incredible thing for that organization to do, and Edwards to be able to do that in his first full-time year, especially. He took over late in 2004 for Jeff Burton after Burton left for Richard Childress Racing. So Edwards got a head start there to his Cup career. So definitely, he had an incredible career, like I said, and all that. What helped also for him to get into the Hall of Fame was, of course, what he did in the Xfinity Series, winning that championship in 2007. He had an incredible career in that series as well, winning a lot of races and all that, 38 of them. So what he did there in that series and the Cup Series and the Craftsman Truck Series helped as well there, since it is called the NASCAR Hall of Fame, not the NASCAR Cup Series Hall of Fame. So definitely all that, what he did there in all three series helped in that part as well for him to get into Hall of Fame. So that would be pretty cool for Edwards there as well. But definitely, you can't talk about Edwards without his share of like incidents over the years as well. Obviously, he had a rivalry with Kyle Busch there in 2008. He won a race at Bristol and then spun him out after he won the race. And obviously, the most notable ones are with Brad Keselowski, and he's had several incidents with him over the years. In 2009, he had a run-in with Keselowski at Talladega as they were battling for the win in what was an incredible finish there as well. As Keselowski ended up turning Edwards, and then Edwards ended up making contact with Ryan Newman's hood, and then Edwards ended up flying into the catch fence, but Keselowski still ended up winning the race. And that was just an incredible finish there, how violent that crash was. Thankfully, Edwards was okay and all that, and he was able to get out of his car and walk across the start-finish line like Ricky Bobby, as Mike Joy referenced in that broadcast as well. But that wasn't all between those two. In 2010 in Atlanta, when he and Keselowski were battling for position, and when Edwards had a throwback to that 2005 Scott's paint scheme that he won there at that track, he intentionally spun out Keselowski, and then Keselowski ended up flying into the fence as well in a very scary crash. Thankfully, Keselowski was okay, but it goes to show you how crazy that incident was and all that, especially that it was the end of the COT era as far as the wing, before it went back to the spoiler. And Edwards was not fined as a result of that crash, but he was put on probation for the next 3 races. But that wasn't all between those two in 2010. There was more as well there at Gateway International Raceway in a Nationwide Series race later that year, especially there. When they were battling for the win, Edwards intentionally spun out Keselowski. Even though Edwards won the race, he was fined $25,000 and docked 60 points. It was put on probation for the rest of the year as a result of that incident, which was crazy to show how much those two have had within just a year, especially with the incident they had in Talladega the year before in 2009 and what happened at Atlanta and at Gateway. So that was pretty crazy, what happened with those two there especially. So that was definitely a good rivalry there for a good time there also. But definitely, other than those incidences, he's mostly had a controversy-free career. And a lot of times after he ran well in a race or won or all that, he said how he had fun out there. So definitely Edwards had a lot of fun there on the track, especially when he ran well and all that. So he's definitely missed there on the track and all that, but congratulations again on the incredible career for Edwards, and congratulations again on him getting in the Hall of Fame and all that. It's just, like I said, an incredible honor and all that, especially since it's a big deal as well because of the fact that not every driver gets into the Hall of Fame, and plus of the fact that it's more limited now than what it used to be as well. So it makes it more exclusive as well there. But definitely, and plus he's had incredible paint schemes over the course of his career. Pretty much all of them at Roush Fenway Racing, because that organization is known for having incredible paint schemes over the years when they were that name and when they were Roush Racing, which are now Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing or RFK Racing for sure. I've always liked Edwards' Office Depot paint scheme when he first became full-time in 2005. So that was an incredible paint scheme that he ran there, especially until 2008 when they left for Stewart House Racing. That's an awesome paint scheme there as well. I also like the half-lap paint scheme he had in 2011 when he lost the championship. That was an awesome paint scheme there as well. And plus, I also like the Claritin paint scheme with the blue and all that. Pretty cool paint scheme. But my favorite has to be the Subway paint scheme with the yellow and all that. That's just an awesome paint scheme that Edwards had there when he ran the Subway colors. That was a pretty awesome paint scheme. So, plus his 2005 Scott's paint scheme was also iconic because he got his first career win in that paint scheme also. So, I've always liked Edwards paint schemes for the most part. So, definitely pretty cool there as well. But he's also been in video games, especially. He was in NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup as a Craftsman Truck Series driver. But he made his Cup Series debut in NASCAR 06 Total Team Control, especially there as well. And what was also notable is that he was absent for the next couple of games in NASCAR 07 and NASCAR 08 because of the fact he was with a contract with a company called Excalibur Electronics, which used his likeness as well as his number all that in those games. So he wasn't able to be back in an EA Sports game until NASCAR 09, which ended up being the end of the EA Sports era. So as far as regular games, even though they did have NASCAR kart racing, but as far as regular full games and all that, definitely that was the end there, especially. But definitely pretty cool that Edwards was able to come back into a NASCAR game, as far as the EA Sports, before that contract ended and all that. So definitely pretty cool there, especially. But congratulations again to Edwards on an incredible career, especially in the Hall of Fame, as well, for him to get that honor as well. Pretty cool, like I said, and all that. Pretty incredible there, especially because of the fact that, like I said, he had an incredible career and all that. So definitely, and it's sad that he didn't get to end his career with Roush Fenway Racing. It would have been cool had he got to be there and all that. Had he won a championship with them, in my opinion, he might have stuck around with them. But he went to Joe Gibbs Racing because he wanted a chance at a championship. But unfortunately, things didn't work out there with circumstances and all that. But still, though, it doesn't take away from what he did in his career and all that. So definitely a pretty incredible honor that he got into the Hall of Fame and all that. So especially he'll always be a Hall of Famer and all that. So definitely a pretty cool title for Edwards to have there as well. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like. And if you are brand new, subscribe. And honor Edwards getting to the Hall of Fame. Here are some commercials from him also. Enjoy those, and peace.
Everything okay, Carl?
I'm winning, right?
Yeah, but the other drivers think VIPLex sponsorship's giving you an I taught him that.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
So, Carl, how do you train for a race?
Let's go for a spin. I'll show you.
Please slow down! Oh, you're leaving me! I thought we were going in the car.
Egg white muffin melt, high protein, won't slow you down.
Yeah, I love this part.
All right, let's go.
Hey, let's go. You're killing me!
From tasty high-protein breakfast to flavor-packed subs, Subway keeps Carl running.
Subway, where winners eat. And Glazer, too.
Okay, Mr. Edwards, you're all set with Charter Digital, and that's including our sports tier.
Thanks, man.
You got your college sports, football, baseball, game highlights. It's pretty awesome. Hey, you're on TV.
Yeah.
Do you think you could show me how to do that? How about an autograph? That's
NASCAR fans, you'll flip for Charter Digital with the sports tier. Call 1-888-GET-CHARTER for this great offer.
Carl, can we get a selfie? If nice guy Carl Edwards treated his fans like greasy fast food treats your body,
Yeah?
he wouldn't be the fan favorite that he is.
A little bit. The key is to enter the
So say no to greasy fast food and treat your body to tender all-white meat chicken raised without antibiotics with the new rotisserie-style chicken sandwich. Try it Carl's way with spinach. The Subway Sandwich Shop. Fresh is what we do.
Interesting development here today with Carl Edwards. After drinking a vitamin water focus, it became clear to him on how to try to hone his driving abilities and achieve total calm in the car. So he got a dang toilet pond installed. There's Carl's spiritual advisor, actor Ralph Macchio. Focus. Edwards coming in for an unscheduled pit stop. They're making a core change and upgrading with the Zen Garden.
Vitamins, electrolytes, no sodium, vitamin water, try it.